Welcome to my YouTube channel Liberty Old Coin and 3 coin story about hidden power, everyday history, and the kind of object that passes through countless hands without anyone realizing what it might truly become. Let's get started. Today's focus is on one single coin, not a group and not a collection, but one specific piece that represents an entire era of American history. This script is about one USA 1964 5-cent Liberty coin, and how that one coin can stand on its own as a powerful and valuable symbol. The 1964 5-cent Liberty coin was made during a time when the United States was undergoing major cultural, political, and economic change. The early 1960s were years of transformation, confidence, and global influence for America, and the nation's coinage reflected that strength and stability. This coin was struck in 1964 as part of America's regular circulating money, but the year itself is what makes it special. 1964 marks the final chapter of an important metal era in US coin history, a turning point that collectors around the world closely watch. The design often associated with this coin connects it to the idea of liberty, freedom, and national pride. Liberty-themed American coins have always attracted attention because they represent more than money. They represent ideals that shaped the country itself. The reason this coin was made was simple but powerful. It was created to support daily commerce in a rapidly growing economy while also carrying forward America's identity through its imagery, metal composition, and craftsmanship. What truly pushes the 1964 5-cent Liberty coin into the category of high interest is the historical timing of its production. Coins from this year sit at the edge of a major transition, making them especially desirable to collectors who understand long-term value. Many collectors believe that 1964 coins represent the end of an era where American coins still carried strong intrinsic and historical appeal. That belief alone drives demand, competition, and rising prices in the collector market. Condition plays a powerful role in value, and when this single coin appears in exceptional shape, its worth can rise dramatically. Sharp details, clean surfaces, and original luster transform it from ordinary change into a premium collectible. Some examples of the 1964 5-cent Liberty coin have sold for impressive amounts when preserved at high grades. In top-level condition, this one coin can reach prices of $1,000, $2,500, and even higher depending on grading, demand, and timing. What makes this especially exciting is that many of these coins still exist in drawers, jars, and old collections. The idea that a single overlooked coin could carry such potential is what fuels passion among collectors and investors alike. This coin is valuable not only for what it is, but for what it represents. It captures a moment when American money was transitioning, and collectors are willing to pay strongly for pieces tied to those moments. The market for classic US coins continues to grow globally, and coins from key years like 1964 often become centerpieces in serious collections. As interest grows, so does competition, and competition pushes prices upward. For long-term holders, this single coin is often viewed as a quiet asset. It does not make noise, it does not flash, but over time it builds reputation, demand, and respect in the numismatic world. Stories of collectors discovering a 1964 5-cent Liberty coin in outstanding condition continue to inspire new audiences. These stories are not about luck alone, but about understanding history and recognizing opportunity. This coin proves that value is not always about size or denomination. Even a 5-cent piece can command 4-figure prices when history, timing, and preservation align perfectly. As more people learn about key-year American coins, the spotlight on pieces like this one only grows brighter. Awareness fuels demand, and demand fuels future price growth. The 1964 5-cent Liberty coin stands as a reminder that small objects can carry enormous meaning and serious financial potential. One coin, 1 year, one opportunity. If you hold this coin today, you are holding more than metal. You are holding history, identity, and a piece that collectors continue to chase. And for those who recognize its importance, this single coin represents value that can climb far beyond its face amount, reaching impressive heights in the collector market. Next coin, the coin you hold, the 1984 Jefferson nickel, is a piece of American history with a story that is only just beginning to be understood for its true potential. We are discussing the 1984 5-cent Liberty coin, struck at the Denver Mint and bearing the coveted D mint mark. This particular coin exists at the thrilling intersection of nostalgia, historical transition, and numismatic opportunity. Its future is not merely as pocket change, but as a tangible asset poised for remarkable appreciation. To comprehend its future, we must first delve into its past. The year 1984 was a pivotal moment in the long-running Jefferson nickel series. This coin represents one of the final chapters of the classic coinage era before modern minting technologies and changing designs took full effect. It is a direct descendant of the coins that funded World War II purchases and circulated through the hands of generations building modern America, making it a vital link to the 20th century. The design itself, featuring Felix Schlag's left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson and the iconic view of his Monticello home, had been in use since 1938. However, by 1984, this design was living on borrowed time. Just a few years later, in 2004, the Westward Journey nickel series would dramatically alter the 5-cent landscape, rendering the classic Monticello design a relic of a bygone period. This makes your 1984 D one of the last standard-issue coins of its original, enduring type. Focusing on the mint mark is crucial. The D signifies the Denver Mint, a facility with a storied history of producing coinage for everyday commerce. Coins from Denver have a dedicated following among collectors who specialize in assembling sets by mint mark. For any serious collector aiming to complete a Jefferson nickel collection, especially a full set, including examples from every mint that produced them, the 1984 D is an absolutely mandatory piece. This permanent, built-in demand forms a solid foundation for its value. Now let's address the heart of the matter, its current and future value. In circulated condition, this nickel is indeed still found in change, with a face value of 5 cents, but its true numismatic value lies in pristine, uncirculated condition. A standard 1984 D nickel in average circulated grades is a common coin. However, when preserved in brilliant, gem-quality mint state, its value begins its ascent. Currently, a single coin in MS65 condition can command a price between $2 and $5. The maximum value, however, is found at the absolute pinnacle of preservation. For the 1984 D nickel, this means coins graded MS67 or higher by premier services like PCGS or NGC. At these elite levels, the value escalates dramatically. We have seen auction records where phenomenal examples graded MS67 have realized prices exceeding $50. This is a 1,000 times multiplier on its face value, a testament to what the market is willing to pay for perfection. But we must look beyond today's price tags. The future appreciation potential for this coin is exceptionally strong. Every year, countless 1984 D nickels are lost to circulation, damaged in accidents, or simply discarded by those unaware of their latent worth. The population of truly flawless specimens is finite and shrinking in a relative sense. As time progresses, the surviving high-grade examples become increasingly scarce relative to growing collector demand. This leads us to the concept of condition rarity. While millions were struck, only a tiny fraction survived without a single bag mark, scratch, or hint of wear. These are the coins that will drive future markets. As more collectors enter the hobby, the competition for these top-tier examples will intensify. The bidding wars will become more fierce, and the prices will reflect that intense competition. It is a fundamental rule of economics applied to numismatics. Limited supply plus increasing demand equals rising value. Consider also the generational factor. The 1980s are now solidly in the realm of nostalgia. Adults who were children in 1984 are now in their prime earning and collecting years. They seek tangible connections to their youth, and what better connection than a coin minted in that very year, preserved as if time itself stood still. This emotional driver fuels a powerful collector impulse that goes beyond mere metal content or mintage figures. Furthermore, the 1984 D nickel is an ideal gateway coin for new collectors. Its affordability in lower grades allows anyone to start a meaningful collection. This accessibility ensures a constant influx of new interest, with many of those beginners eventually striving to own the finest possible example. This pipeline of collector development guarantees a vibrant and enduring market for your coin for decades to come. The maximum price for this coin, its ultimate ceiling, is not yet written. For a coin currently graded MS67, the trajectory points confidently upward. It is not unreasonable to project that within the next decade, as top population coins disappear into permanent collections, the value for a gem MS67 could confidently reach and surpass the $100 mark. For a coin that began its life as 5 cents, this represents an astronomical and thrilling return on preservation. We must also account for the unexpected. Numismatic history is filled with coins that quietly rested for years before a market surge sent their values soaring. A shift in collector trends, a prominent magazine feature, or the discovery that a particular batch had a unique striking characteristic could instantly focus attention on the 1984 D when that spotlight shines. Those who had the foresight to secure high-grade examples will be in the most advantageous position. Imagine a future where a complete set of Jefferson nickels, from 1938 to the early 2000s, becomes a centerpiece of American collecting. Your 1984D is a key late-series date in that set. Its importance will only magnify as the series is viewed in its complete historical context. It will be seen not as a common coin, but as a landmark issue from the final years of a classic design. The journey of this coin is a metaphor for patience and vision. It passed from the mint into the pockets of a nation, a silent witness to history. Now, it has the potential to transform from everyday currency into a prized collectible. Its value is a combination of its metallic substance, its historical journey, its impeccable state of preservation, and the powerful stories it will continue to gather as it passes from one careful owner to the next. Therefore, do not underestimate the humble 1984D Liberty nickel. It is a sleeping giant in the world of numismatics. Its current value in gem conditions is a mere stepping stone to its future valuation. The maximum prize is waiting for those who recognize the potent combination of history, scarcity, and beauty that this coin embodies. Secure the finest example you can find, protect it meticulously, and watch as it ascends. This coin is not just a piece of the past. It is an investment in a future where its worth is measured not in cents, but in its legacy and the savvy of those who believed in its potential from the beginning. Second coin, the 1989 D. Jefferson nickel, is a modern classic, a piece of late 20th century Americana that holds a secret story of impending rarity and significant future worth. This 5-cent piece, minted in Denver and bearing the prominent D mint mark, is far more than the spare change it appears to be. We are examining a coin that sits on the very brink of a numismatic transition, a final standard issue before the world of coin collecting changed forever. Its value is not defined by its face, but by its perfect preservation and its poignant place in history. To understand why collectors intensely seek this coin, we must first journey back to its origins. The Jefferson nickel series, begun in 1938, had maintained a consistent design for over 5 decades. The 1989 D issue emerged from the Denver Mint as part of a massive production for everyday commerce, yet it was struck during a period of quiet before a monumental storm of change in American coinage. This coin represents the end of an unbroken era, the last of a long-standing tradition. The history of this coin's creation is tied to the essential functioning of the United States economy. It was built, or rather minted, in 1989 to facilitate billions of small transactions across the nation. The Denver Mint, operating at full capacity, produced these coins to meet the relentless demand of a growing country. Its purpose was utilitarian, but its destiny is becoming collectible. The very act of its creation in such vast numbers now works in favor of its rarity at the highest grades, for survival in flawless condition was never the intent. Now addressing the critical question, how many people want to buy the 1989 D nickel? The answer is a thriving multitude. The demand is multifaceted and powerful. First, there are series collectors who aim to complete a Jefferson nickel set from every mint for every year. For them, the 1989 D is not an option. It is a mandatory piece, a non-negotiable hole in the album that must be filled. This creates a perpetual, built-in demand that will never disappear. Second, there are condition census specialists, collectors who compete to own the very finest known examples of any given coin. For the 1989 D, the chase is on for those rare specimens graded MS67 and above by PCGS or NGC. These top-tier collectors are always in the market, constantly scouring auctions and dealer inventories, driving prices upward whenever a new premium example surfaces. Their pursuit is relentless and well-funded. Third, a growing wave of millennial and Gen X collectors is now actively seeking coins from their childhood and young adult years. The year 1989 resonates deeply with this demographic, symbolizing a specific cultural moment. For them, acquiring a pristine example of a coin from that year is an act of nostalgia, a tangible piece of personal history. This emotional driver adds a potent new layer of demand that did not exist a decade ago. Let us now dissect its current value with precision. In a well-worn, circulated state, this nickel is still common, trading for a small premium over its face value. However, the moment you step into the realm of uncirculated coins, the valuation changes dramatically. A 1989 D nickel in MS65 condition, a coin with full luster and minimal marks, currently commands a market price between $1 and $3. This is the entry point for serious collectors. The true excitement begins at the summit of quality. For coins graded MS66, values can range from $5 to $15 based on eye appeal and holder prestige. But the maximum prize, the area of explosive potential, is found at the MS67 level and beyond. The current value for a 1989 D nickel in MS67 condition is substantial, with recent sales and listings hovering between $40 and $75 for the finest examples. This is a monumental leap from face value. Is its value really high or low? For a coin many still dismiss as modern change, its value in gem condition is objectively and undeniably high. We are discussing a common date coin achieving prices nearly 100 times its original purchasing power. This is not low value. This is a testament to the powerful forces of condition rarity and collector demand. Its value trajectory is pointed steeply upward, making its current high value merely a foundation for its future valuation. The history of this coin in the collector market is a story of awakening. For years, it sat in rolls and bags, overlooked in favor of older silver issues. But as the population reports from grading services began to tell a clearer story, savvy collectors took notice. They realized that while millions were struck, only a handful, a tiny percentage, survived in absolute perfection. This revelation sparked the initial surge in interest that we are still riding today. The maximum price for the 1989 D nickel is not a static figure. It is a moving target, propelled by the relentless laws of supply and demand. The population of MS67 coins is finite. As each one is sold and locked away into a permanent collection, the available supply for the next eager buyer shrinks. This scarcity and perfection is the engine of its appreciation. It is conceivable that within the next 5 to 10 years, the ceiling for a top pop 1989D could confidently break the $150 barrier. Consider the compounding effect of new collectors entering the hobby each year. Each new enthusiast, guided by a desire to build a meaningful collection, is eventually directed to the importance of condition and key dates. The 1989D, as a final standard issue, becomes a focal point. This expanding collector base, all competing for the same shrinking pool of superb coins, creates a pressure cooker for prices. The demand is not speculative, it is fundamental to the structure of the hobby itself. Furthermore, this coin benefits from a phenomenon known as generational stacking. Older collectors who amassed hordes of uncirculated rolls in the 1980s and 1990s are now bringing those coins to market for grading. Once these original bankrupt stocks are exhausted, no more will be created. The future supply will consist solely of coins already in the collector pipeline, making fresh, high-grade appearances at auction increasingly notable and competitive events. The narrative of the 1989 D nickel is also one of contrast. Shortly after its minting, the US Mint began experimenting with new metal compositions and would later embark on the 50-state quarters program, which revolutionized collecting. This coin is the last of the old guard, a silent sentinel from the period before collecting became a mass-market phenomenon. Its understated design is its strength, a badge of authenticity from a different time. Owning a high-grade 1989 D nickel is therefore an act of foresight. It is recognizing that value is often hidden in plain sight, waiting for the collective awareness to catch up. The individuals buying these coins today are not merely acquiring a piece of metal. They are securing a position in a market that is only beginning to understand the significance of modern rarities. They are the early adopters, the visionaries who see the potential before it becomes obvious to all. The story of this coin is still being written. Each time one sells for a new record price, the chapter is updated. Its history, from the minting presses in Denver to the protective holder of a discerning collector, is a journey from utility to legacy. It was built for commerce, but it is being rebuilt in the collector consciousness as a prize. Therefore, to ask if the 1989 D Jefferson nickel is valuable is to ask the wrong question. The correct inquiry is, how valuable will it become? The evidence points toward a continued and impressive ascent. Its current value is strong, but its maximum prize is yet to be determined by the passage of time and the growing wisdom of the collecting public. This coin is a sleeper hit, a dark horse candidate for legendary status within the modern series. Do not be deceived by its abundance in circulation. Seek instead the flawless example, the coin that escaped the brutal fate of commerce. Protect it, grade it, and hold it with confidence. The number of people who want to buy it is large and growing. Its current value is impressive, and its future value is limited only by the number of collectors who come to recognize its profound significance. The 1989 D nickel is not just a coin. It is an opportunity waiting to be grasped, a small piece of history with a very large future.